Up to Auburn, and then I took another short break, and I was feeling pretty good. Well, then it was like it was just a very Auburn wasn't that beautiful to me. It was like I was on the shoulder of the two-lane highway the whole way, and it was a Sunday, so there was a lot of people with boats and trailers going to and from recreational areas along the waterway, and there was just a lot of traffic. And I'm not used to riding around a lot of cars these days because I usually just ride on the trails. And so I didn't really like the fact that there were cars, because people could be texting, they use their phones to text, and I think there's been a really high casualty count around people like texting and driving because they're not anymore looking at the road. And even though it's become illegal in most places, and I think it is here, you could get ticketed for it, but people for a while will still continue doing the illegal activity. Like, I remember when seatbelts first became a law, people were still not wearing seatbelts. In fact, some people today still don't wear seatbelts. Hello. So I know that people still text and drive, especially if the text message is coming from someone important, like a spurned lover or something. They've got to grab it and answer it right away. And, like, now you can find all these, like, people who have died, and it'll be like, they find their phone and they find out the last text they sent, like, I love you, or you're wrong, or something, and it's like, oh god, they were texting when they were driving and they fucking ran off the road and hit a tree or killed themselves or somebody else. So I don't like to ride along two-lane highways or any kind of highways whatsoever. I don't care how many lanes or how few. So it just makes me feel a little bit slightly uncomfortable. So I was like, oh god, is there going to be more of this? And my friend didn't quite know. My friend was like, they did at one point say, oh, Highway 49, you're going to be riding on the side of Highway 49. Well, I hope it's not the part where it drops into American River Canyon. And then I said, I looked at what I'd written down about the directions, and they were like, no, I don't think that's it. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, I hope not. And so in a couple of blocks from there, my friend was going to meet me back at another bike shop in Folsom. It was about a 30-mile third leg stretch that I was about to do, and I was slightly concerned about my friend's reaction and stuff. But so there I went off and onto this Highway 49, and boom, like right away, like immediately, brutal. It was like brutal. It was like I was going around in through the circles of hell or something, like down at a decline, like this or something. I mean, it was steep, it was bad, it was like I was going fast, and I was trying to brake because I would have had to brake, otherwise I would have gone headlong into the ditch, because the shoulder was getting thinner and thinner, and there were parts where like the road, like it seemed like there were like mini sinkholes or something, like dropping off, and then you're looking over a huge canyon, and I was like thinking my friend's word, canyon. I was like, this is it, this is the highway to hell. And literally there were cars, lines of cars, like waiting for me because the shoulder kept falling off, and then there was no shoulder, and I'm just zooming, and I'm trying to lean forward enough to put on the brakes, right? But the way my bike is situated with the handlebars, it's like you have to have your hands all the way down in order to get a couple fingers gripped around the brakes in front of the handlebars. So like I wanted to grip with both my hands because I'm like, I gotta hold on to this bike tight, but yet I gotta squeeze a couple fingers off in front to grab the brakes. So I'm like literally screaming inside, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And then to make matters worse, this guy in the car next to me is coming up, or kids or something, and they're passing me, and some guy yells out the window, suicide mission or something, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel, like, thanks for speaking it for me. And that must have gone on for like 6 or 7 miles down and around, and there are people pulling out of recreational areas along the water down there towards the bottom of it, and I could see like this incredible view to my right, but it's the most scenic view you never want to see when you're going 40 miles an hour on a bike on a road with no shoulder. And